that he's completely fine, and I don't think any. I think you're over exaggerating the hate that he's getting because his album
Really?
still. I think there's songs still doing well from his album. He's really well liked as a person, um, and I argued about this on Twitter, and we've talked about this. I don't think selling 100 and blank thousand first week sales is bad, especially when it doubles your last album's first week sales. It's only a W. And because internet people had expectations it's higher, doesn't mean that Jack didn't know what was up. Obviously, we're gonna get into the Brandy situation and stuff, but I think he's fine.
I mean, that's what you say, but you're saying people, even the label. Okay, so the label expected him to sell at least like 200, maybe even more. And you got to understand the hype this man is getting. So let's just look at his career, right? So I remember he started out. Obviously, he was with his gang. What's it called,
Private
the Garden
Garden,
Collective, Private Garden. Yeah,
Private
and
Garden.
they were slowly releasing videos and content out there. Then he got a few hits out there, which really put him on the map. Some songs that I fell in love with him, which I first heard from him, Dark Knight on Gazebo.
Yeah,
I know that's you and mine.
yeah.
One of our favorite songs by him, incredible. Also, Sundown. That was a big,
Sundown,
big
yeah, that was my
song.
favorite song by him.
Yep. And then he went on to drop a few more projects, but the big one that really blew him up was What's Poppin'. Now, a lot of the argument that comes along is there's a lot of rappers like Big Sean, or even white rappers in general, or it's honestly any rapper who didn't get the push, even though they're putting the same quality of music, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of iffy. And when you look at the sales, label projected him to sell again 200, and he undershipped that. He sold 110K.
Where is that projection coming from?
Well, recently, so this is from the label itself, the actual label. So have you noticed now that sale projections aren't coming after; they're coming before? But
Yeah.
technically, it's already been a thing for album projections to
Uh-huh.
come before. It's just now being a prominent thing, especially with streaming. But the label, they're not just gonna give you a contract on the whim and not know what you're gonna sell. They know what Jack can sell. He's literally off the bat of Industry Baby with Lil Nas X, a #1 song. He's expected to do these numbers. He's this big,
Yeah.
and for
Uh,
him to only sell 110, although that's still amazing. I'm not selling Squad, but it's a disappointment a little bit
yeah.
for the label perspective at least.
I guess it's disappointing. For one, I think this proves that just because the song's popular on TikTok does not mean that those are real fans who are going to be spreading your music word of mouth. Just because some girl, the 12-year-old girl, heard First Class on TikTok doesn't mean she's staying up to 12 o'clock when the album drops and sharing it with all of her friends who aren't Jack Harlow fans. That's when you get like real growth. So I kind of expected that. I didn't think that song. I mean, I personally didn't even like the song when it came out.
That's a
Um,
shame.
but I'm
Yours not
sure.
hit, bro. That shit was a
But
slapper.
you still like it? I did not like
Dude,
it.
I really do like that song.
I
I
don't.
really
But
do.
for one, I mean, the label had access to the entire album before it came out. So there is just, if you want to blame Jack, they're also to blame. They heard it and they thought it was going to be good too. My problem with the album was that Jack, when he posted on Instagram to announce the album, he was saying how he didn't go to parties for a full year. He wasn't drinking or anything. He was just locked in. And we've talked about this. Corday did the same thing. Corday's like, I didn't touch my phone for a year while making this album. And it sounded like Jack Harlow was going to parties every single night. Like every single song. And I'm not going to hate on it because Drake is popular for the exact same reason. Just different types of people. Drake obviously can sing, and Jack Harlow can't sing. But the whole album is just about girls, which is fine. I heard people calling it, I'm not sure what the exact phrasing was, but it's like background music. Like if you're like
Yeah.
doing some work, you can have the music in the back. There's a couple songs here and there that I like, but this was definitely eh, it's one of my least favorite projects by him. It's definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, I just thought it was disappointing because when I heard "Come Home, the Kids Miss You," and
Cool
again, this
title.
is your sophomore, amazing title, right? And this is your sophomore project. We all know the sophomore slump. Your
Yeah.
sophomore album is really big, M from Some Shady LP to Marshmallows LP. Kendrick from Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly. It's a really big album because your sophomore album could really make or
Yeah.
break you. Some people say he may have dropped it too soon because this is what, a year or 2 years after. That's
I
what they
think,
all say.
yeah, somebody like
Uh,
that.
what is it? Yeah, so 2 years. So I guess that's not too
Cheers.
long. And of course, he has to drop. He has to take advantage of
Uh-huh.
the amount of hype that he's getting. But I thought this was going to be a really introspective album, a really deep album. Just hear the title, I'm like, oh, okay, that's really dope. And even the promotion for this, man,
Yeah.
I've never seen promotion hyped up so much, and it did not end up
Yeah.
meeting fruition because
And
when I heard this album, there's a lot of girl talk, and a lot of people are
yeah.
complaining about that. But he was talking about girls a little bit before in his previous projects. But
Yeah,
I
he's
guess it
always done
wasn't
that.
so much emphasizing like this character, or this I don't know how to put it in words, like this character, this image of he's this ladies' man or whatever.
Yeah.
But come on, man.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm a really big fan of when he does get introspectives on songs. So he's this whole list is. Oh, what was that? Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
No,
What'd
I
you
just
hear?
played some. Something played through my computer. That was weird.
Okay.
Um, so he's like a list of songs similar to how Drake has his whole like timestamp stuff with like um, what are the songs called? I'm blanking. Like 2 a.m. and 5 p.m. and blank and 8. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yep. The Drake style, whatever
Yeah,
his
yeah.
titles.
So
Yep.
Jack Harlow has the same thing with
Hmm.
these songs with streets named after him. So he's a
Hmm.
song called like Riverside Road, and like
Yep.
these are my
Amazing.
favorite songs by him because I think he's good at rapping and being introspective like that. But yeah, I guess I mean it's something that people face when they didn't grow up with that much hardship, where it's like you kind of run out of stuff to rap about, and J. Cole gets criticized for that because he's a big storyteller from other people's perspectives. Because it's like obviously Cole went through a lot of stuff, but people clown him for that. They're like he didn't grow up in this hardship where he always has this material to talk about. So I think it can be hard for artists to find new subject matter to talk about, especially Jack, who his music has always been about girls and stuff, and he's dabbled in getting a little bit introspective. So I did expect this album to be like this. I just don't personally. I don't like the Pharrell song. I don't get how there's a video of Pharrell hearing it, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
It
It's
was one
not.
of the worst songs I've ever
I
heard. That
don't
was
get
awful.
bro. And I say this all the time, and we said this about "Rock and Roll" by Kanye, Kid Cudi. Like, how are they hearing these songs? Maybe they have a different ear. Maybe I guess some people do like these songs, but I do not. I don't get how Pharrell was like, "Yo, this is the one."
Yeah, I don't get how he got a whole cosign and it wasn't even at least a hit. I do think people were hating on the album a little bit too much. It's definitely not good. I can say that very confidently.
It's definitely not
But
good.
it's not like trash or whatever. There's some tracks I do like from here, but the biggest
Yeah,
thing
I
is,
agree.
man, like you're really, really biting off Drake. And when you bite off
Yeah,
Drake, it's not even Drake level. It's like a mediocre attempt at biting off of him. The flows he's trying to use, when he does ad-libs like the she or the sha, wah,
yeah,
those, what
yeah,
Drake
yeah.
does, and trying to act
He's a big.
fly. Yeah, and it's just like, oh man, it kind of goes down. Honestly, my favorite track
Um,
from Come Home was State Fair, which I really liked. Again, introspective. Him
yeah.
coming back to Kentucky and seeing his people again. Hopefully, he can shut down the State Fair and
Mhm.
be this icon. And it's just so mind blowing about how much hype he's gotten and how bad he fumbled this bag. Like he fumbled the bag big time. I know the
Yeah.
label is looking at him like, "You owe us some money, boy," because
I mean, I'm confident he'll figure it out, and like people still love him and his personality. Like people stop clowning. I just thought it was unfair to compare him like his first week sales to Future's second week sales when Future is on the Mount Rushmore of a generation. That's way too soon. Even no matter how big he is, he's still on like the Baby Keem level of fame.
No, I
Yes,
can't.
he
I
is.
can't.
He is
Dude,
just
Jack
because he
Harlow
has.
is so much bigger. So it's not even close to Baby Keem.
But I think that's because like he's more popular like with
Mhm,
people posting about him, but his music sales like it's kind of similar. Baby Keem has just less music out, so wait. And I'm not some huge Baby Keem fan,
mhm.
but I don't think he's at this extreme level where we should start comparing his sales to Future. I think that's just unreasonable. Um, and something like I didn't like on the song "I Got a Shot," which has a good chorus. He starts rapping like "I'm from a city where they put one in your temple," which really that
Oh yeah, like
simple.
shut up,
Like
bro.
dude, shut. Like
You from
we
the
know
suburbs.
like and it's fine you don't need to write a lyric like that and he's from Louisville, so I'm sure there's bad parts of Louisville, but you're not
Oh,
from them, so like you didn't need to talk about that. That line I didn't love because it's like then the chorus like "I got a shy, it's not a pistol," it's like a girly chorus, and then he's like coming in with like "I'm from a city," like, no one's putting a hole in your temple, you're fine, Jack.
there's some people are saying that Jack has always been like this, and honestly, he's never been that good. I'm not saying that, but a lot of people are really honestly discrediting his title as a real rapper. I know after this dropped, right? Obviously, after all the backlash, this guy was still promoting. He did like 10
Yeah.
interviews. I remember I kept getting notifications on
Yeah,
YouTube. Jack
he
Jack
did.
Harlow, new interview. And he seemed proud of this album. Obviously, he has to. He's not going to talk
Yeah.
about how trash it was live. But it was just, yeah, man. I don't
I
know,
mean,
man. And yeah.
I think he gets some respect because I think he does go about hip hop very well, where he has done the freestyles on Funk Flex, and he's gone on. I think he's gone on Sway to do an interview. So like, there's a lot of artists from this generation who do skip those steps, and I think I've heard him like literally phrase it like that. Like people skip the steps,
Mhm.
like I never skip the steps.
Yeah, and
So
he
I think
did
he
it.
does. So I think he does have respect inside the industry from people. I've heard in interviews where he grew up listening to A Tribe Called Quest, and I kind of get that flow from him. Like I can kind of see it because his raps aren't like some dense thing, and they're kind of similar to Drake when Drake raps out. Um, so I thought the album was fine. I hope he can change this up. Like he has songs that are more over the rap music we listen to more, where he has like Harry Fraud on his song once. I forget what the name is. It's on the last album, and it's just such a
Oh,
sick
really?
song and it goes with the beat. Even a song like Nail Tech, I just prefer him in that type of lane versus I don't know, like more stuff that's directed for girls. But I feel the same way about Drake. Some of the songs like aren't for me. Depends. Like a song like Pipe Down, beat is so good I'll listen to it. But I'm not always
Mhm.
listening to the Drake emotional songs. I like when he raps. Same thing with Jack for me.
I remember you were saying this last episode, I believe, but basically how it's kind of a shock how in this new era it's very easy to put out music, and all of a sudden once it blows, you're ready to go, right? But once you get on a platform like Jackson, it's huge. You may not be prepared for that, and I honestly think that was what happened. Of course, in his interviews and a lot of and any type of public setting he's at, he's obviously very confident as he should be. You know, you got to be confident to be where he's at, but it's almost a sense of he really wasn't prepared. He really wasn't prepared. Even on Churchill Downs, I'm not saying Drake renegade the guy, but it was an astounding gap in terms of rapping. I mean, Jack's verse wasn't trash. People were trying to trash it. He had some good lines in
Yeah,
there
he's
that
it's
I
just
really
such.
liked.
It's literally this whole song is just a Drake song. It's a classic Drake 2 minute verse,
Yeah,
and it's Jack's rendition of that. That's at a little less good quality of rapping. And like that's literally what it is. It's just a
and that's
Drake
the
song. It's the most
problem.
bro. It's the most Drake type beat I've ever heard in my life. And I'm sure, yeah, he's just gotta get out of that distinction. Same way people tell Corday you're too much like Chance and Cole. It's really hard when someone tells you that, especially if Drake is his favorite artist.
Hmm.
So he listens to the most Drake. So he happens to make music like Drake. I get it. Um, but I think with this reception, I feel like he's a smart guy. I feel like he'll figure it out how to get the next album. And he sold out his tour. He has a strong fan base.
Man,
So I
who's buying his
doubt
tickets? Girls and Air Force Ones.
bro, he sold out a whole nationwide tour. Who opened for him? He brought Mavi, if you know
I,
Mavi.
yeah, I know Mavi, but I heard he went with City Girls. That's what I heard.
That's for no, he didn't bring City, did he? That might be for this tour
I
coming
heard
up.
somewhere that
I
he
mean,
was working with City Girls on tour.
that's for the tour coming up. But for the past tour, he brought
Uh-huh.
Mavi, so he had
Okay.
underground hip hop fans coming to his show, and that's kind of what we were saying. How I'm like, more artists should who are in this one lane should jump in this lane to get those fans. I think he does a good job of that by going on these interviews with Sway and Funk Flex, where he's getting the real hip hop fans, but then he's doing like this other stuff that's going to get this other type of fan base. I think Jack Harlow is going to be perfectly fine.
I mean, that's what you say, but a lot of people think this is gonna be a big I mean, you're really confident in him right now, but there's a lot of people saying he
I
may
think he's
not
fine.
recover from this. I kind of blame DJ Drama and Now Generation a little bit on him because I felt like he was kind of morphing him into a Drake. It's similar to what Diddy does to his artists, trying to morph him into something that he's not. Because
Uh,
this was really a different direction from That's What They All Say, which is a good thing, but it was a bad thing because again, it was the wrong direction. Kind of like what J. Cole said on Love
yeah,
Yours. Came a long way, but he went the wrong way, bro.
yeah, yeah.
But the question is to me is how good do you think he is? I know earlier we were talking about who are the next superstars in rap. You named Jack Harlow as one. And although sure he may be a superstar, with albums like this, I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, I think we all know his rapping ability, and if you're listening to him, you're
Do we
naturally.
though?
I think he's just a decent rapper. Like actual
Okay.
skill wise of writing lyrics,
Hmm.
he's a decent rapper who has a good voice, a really good rapping voice, who's a very chill voice with like some swagger. I think what limits him compared to someone like Drake, obviously, is Drake's a really good singer, and Jack, as of right now, cannot sing
Oh my
or doesn't.
god.
Yeah, so
He
I think
tried to
it
do
puts
that on the album so
yeah,
bad.
so I think it puts him in a box, and he doesn't. He has less stuff to talk about, just naturally being like a white kid from the suburbs. I'm like I don't know the backstory of his life. He could have a lot of trauma, no clue.
Hmm.
But based on the music I've listened to from him, it doesn't seem like he has that much material to rap about. So
Hmm.
naturally, he's probably gonna continue to rap about girls, and there's gonna be a certain time and place to listen to this music.
It's
I think
just a
that's gotta be.
shame. I don't know, man. Because like I said earlier, like I was really hoping for. I mean, this may be crazy, but I honestly thought this was going to be one of the best projects of the year. The way he was rolling
Yeah,
it out, the cover, the name, and the thing is, it seems like he's stuck in this box of being a ladies' man type rapper that
yeah,
no one likes. And of course, people are like Drake was the same, but Drake at least like he was at least appealing to me and a lot of other rap,
yeah.
a lot
I
of
mean,
people in the rap fan base.
I'm sure what Jack will realize, and I'm sure other like real hardcore hip hop guys have realized this. Jack's gonna be performing all the shows, and he's gonna be like, wait, there's like no men at my shows. It's a lot of girls, and a lot of underground hip hop artists are probably like, oh, it's all guys in my show. Like I forget, I think it was Absol or someone was doing an interview, and they were like, who are the guys in the audience? Or it was Mac Miller actually. Like, where are the guys at? And the guys are like, yeah. And he's like, where are the ladies at? And there's like two girls like, yeah. So, and I think Mac definitely was able to come across to two different genders. Like, he's really good at making music for everyone. And I think it's just something Jackson had to figure it out for his album. I think he can do it. And I think he's a good backing. I mean, he's got Kanye West and Pharrell like messing with his music. I think he can. He has the connections. And I think he does like 90s rap music. I think he understands like what he can do. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep my confidence for him.
That was incredible to me, bro. You said Kanye, who's unstable right now, and Pharrell, who absolutely capped, because that was the worst song honestly I've ever heard this year.
But he still got the connections. He still got the connections.
He still has the connections. Hopefully, I'm rooting for Jack. I do love Jack. I've been rooting for this guy for a long time, way before What's Poppin'. But you guys let us know what you think about Jack Harlow. Will it be okay? Will he still remain a superstar? I guess you have to find that, honestly. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you stay to the end, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure to comment. Again, share your thoughts and opinions. We want to build a community, and we want you guys to engage. Anything else I'm missing, Adam?
Nah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, sir. And we are out.
Peace.